It's the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
Good evening and welcome to the Off-Grid Prep Family Podcast.
Tonight we're talking about all sorts of random little things. Answering some short viewer questions, Q&As, and talking about other random stuff. Because we can. It's my podcast and I can talk about whatever I want.
Gonna go ahead and give you a big old chicken in the pool on that.
Oh, we're going to talk about the chicken in the pool.
Just chicken.
Chicken in the pool.
In the pool.
That's a band name. For our
It is
new
a band
band.
name.
It's our
Did you
newest
know,
band.
whoever's
Chickens
listening,
float?
the chickens float? I
Just
did not
like a
know.
duck.
They do. However, unlike a duck, a chicken cannot...
Paddle. It doesn't have webbed
what's
feet.
the word? Not motivate. It's...
Locomote.
Locomote. Thank you. A chicken cannot locomote. It's like if you try and swim with your hands, like your fingers splayed open.
Yeah.
Not a lot happens.
But
Like-
they look frantic.
Well, this particular chicken did not look frantic.
It was finally happy.
She was very happy with herself.
Shall we start with that? This is what happened to us.
No, we're gonna pick up on that. It was a whole night.
It was a whole night.
Yeah, it wasn't just.
Of foxes and wolves and
It
chickens.
culminated in the name "Chicken in the Pool."
Okay, let's talk about what we did this weekend. Starting with, for the first time in years, I bought eggs.
Yes,
Not like from the grocery store,
No.
but still from down the road.
friendly folks down the road.
And when you buy eggs, like they were free range. I saw the chickens outside, but those yolks were so pale and
So-
sad.
Yeah, leading up to this, our chickens' eggs were, kind of not sad-looking grocery store, but they weren't orange.
Yeah.
And more recently, throughout the summer, we started once our garden came to fruition,
Yeah.
we started letting the chickens out, the
Right.
hens, and quite suddenly the yolks turned orange.
Yeah, we just had to keep them a little more penned up when the garden's full of babies because they'll dig that stuff
They
up.
dig everything out.
Yeah,
And we only let them out after lunch.
yeah,
Like
because we don't like forest eggs. I don't like stumbling upon
that dirty
a dirt
nest of
full of 50 eggs.
50 eggs covered in poop and
Nobody wants to find
Ugh.
that. So we let them out after lunch, and then
Yeah.
they naturally go back. Also, I lost my train.
so anyway,
Our chickens don't dig up as much as they might normally because we
Yeah.
use landscape fabric.
that's right.
But still,
They still dig.
babies.
We
Yeah.
transplanted some strawberry runners and the chickens are still digging them up.
Yeah.
Just
They
I think 'cause
loose
they're
dirt
bored.
and- yeah.
they're stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went to buy these eggs and we pulled into the yard. It was a nice blue collar yard.
Yeah.
And the chickens were walking around. There was this gorgeous
Beautiful.
morbidly
potbelly pig.
morbidly obese pig who came grunting up with so much fat over her eyes
was
she
so
couldn't
excited.
see. She was so excited
thought
just
we were gonna
to see
feed
people.
her as though she was starving.
Yeah. And it was that kind of yard. You get the feel. Chickens walking around,
Like
freshly
typical
cut
little
grass.
cute homestead.
Yeah, really cute. And so we bought some eggs, $4 a dozen, which is criminal. They should be $12 a dozen.
Crazy. Like that doesn't even cover your feed
I'm not
costs.
going to pay them $12 a dozen, which
So I'm
is
happy for
maybe
more.
that's how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
But we got the eggs home. They looked like our eggs, and we cracked them open, and they were shockingly
They
pale
were
yellow.
so pale.
They were
Sad.
so pale.
I don't
don't.
use them, but you know.
We buy from the same feed store, most likely.
Anyways, that was our chicken egg story. But now
Yeah.
we have to take a quick break to talk about our downloads in our store.
Yeah.
There are some great downloads in our store, and they are all extremely inexpensive. And a couple of them are even free. For
Yeah.
example, while you're downloading something useful, you could also get a free copy of the Morse code printable, which is really fun. Or you could get a free copy of, I don't know, there's something else on there that's free right now too. So check it out, offgridpetvalley.com. Go to the store, look at the printables, print yourself some stuff, get yourself all organized.
Yeah.
So we bought eggs. We're a little short on hens because we have a hawk, eagle, fox, wolf, raccoon problem right now. But if lions and tigers and bears, oh my.
Yeah.
So we're a little short on hens.
Mm-hmm.
So we right now have what, 11? And really, to keep us in eggs and have enough to save, like to freeze for winter, we need 20.
20, yeah.
For our family, yeah.
I'm being lazy at this point. I know I shouldn't. We're trying to do so many other things right now.
Yeah. And I don't want chicks.
No.
I would get point of lay, like 18 to 20 week old
Yeah.
hens, which are hard to come by this time of year.
Mhm.
And, we'll just do it in the spring at this point.
Yeah. Fortunately, we have a place down the road.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a bunch of places all around.
There are, and
we'll probably just fill our freezer up, but for now we're going to check out all the ones within driving distance and pick the ones that don't have sad looking eggs.
yeah. I mean, even for scrambled eggs are eggs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little more energy in the eggs that are deep orange, but
sometimes it's just the time of year or whatever, but I know that I live, less than 2 miles away from that farm. Our chickens should be eating the same thing.
Yeah, and they're not.
The eggs should. Saturday is also our deal with all the milk day. I think we're getting it down to a science now. We ended up with one big wheel of cheddar.
Yeah, it was really impressive.
2 big Tupperware containers of cream cheese, like probably 2 or 3 pounds of cream cheese.
Mm-hmm. The cheddar was probably 2 or 3 pounds as well.
It was big, yeah.
Yeah.
Some ricotta.
Mm-hmm.
4.5 liters of Greek yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
Butter, of course.
Yeah,
and the buttermilk from the butter.
Butter's amazing.
Yeah, the butter, it's not like a pound of butter. I didn't use all the cream for butter.
It's a healthy half pound.
Yeah, so I used about half the cream from those 7
Yeah, not
gallons
quite half.
because I wanted to save a bunch for like coffee
And stuff.
We got cream. I got 2 500 ml things of cream. I froze half of it.
Yep.
And a big 1 gallon thing of milk.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's only partially skimmed. I'll probably skim it again tomorrow. Use that for coffee or turn that into butter. And then that's milk for the week. And if we don't eat it by Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll turn that into ice cream.
There was something in the taste of that milk. It tasted like milk.
Do you remember back in the 80s when milk tasted like milk? And you'd go to the fridge and just like drink the milk from the fridge because it actually tasted
I remember. I have a very clear memory as a teenager. So
of
this
just
is
drinking.
No. Yeah, we're just talking late 90s. I remember being starved for protein because it was just sports. It's constant
Sports are fun.
Just the most pointless goddamn garbage in the world. Anyway, I remember going to the fridge and drinking skim milk.
Yeah.
Because of course this is the era of Weight Watchers,
right.
so there's
so
no fat. No fat.
No. Rice cakes.
And I remember drinking, and then something dawned upon me. It wasn't like a conscious thought, but it was like a subconscious click where I realized what I was drinking was clearly not good for me. It was like, and of course I was a teenager, so I didn't put any thought into it. You don't
I don't like this.
You don't but the memory still sits in me as something that is very, very bad for me.
I remember always being disappointed when you see that blue milk in the fridge, and you're like, I don't even want this on my mini wheats.
Even when you see the red cap,
yeah,
you're like, oh, this is gonna make me have a tummy ache.
Yeah.
Like everything the dairy industry has done has just been horrible.
So find yourself some milk. I'm not going to tell you where because.
But that smell and that taste of milk. When you taste it and you smell it, it tastes like the smile on a newborn baby's face. It does. No, it does. That feeling when you anyway, it's amazing. On the flip side, it goes bad really fast. So you have to do something. You need to know how to deal with it immediately.
And you have to have a plan for what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So we started off, we had 2 gallons last week because that's all we could get. This week we got 7. Next week we'll get 10. We'll put it on Instagram and show you exactly what we do next Friday.
Yep.
Now that we've got it kind of figured out. Moving on. Let's talk about how to preserve carrots without electricity. Without canning. Like you can can carrots. You can pickle carrots or you can just can carrots if you have a pressure canner.
Yeah.
Or if you have a water bath canner and you're like me and you don't care. But number 1, this all depends on where you are, right? So when you go to YouTube or Instagram or whatever, everyone will tell you with extreme confidence the exact way that you too can preserve carrots and have them fresh all year long.
Mm-hmm.
And this is only based upon their very limited experience of where they live, their humidity, their climate, how cold it gets. But if you've never really moved anywhere or gone a long distance in your life, you don't realize that other places are different. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or you just like to be on YouTube. And
you don't realize that other places happen to be North Dakota.
Also that.
Or Winnipeg.
So Winnipeg? Are we trying to church up Winnipeg?
Spells dirt, son. Don't try and church it up. It's deer tay. Or deer tay.
It's deer tay.
So the middle of North America as a continent is a piece of garbage. If you live there,
we're sorry.
Move. That's it.
It's
just move.
So hard to survive.
No, it's a piece of garbage. I don't know what happened, if it was an asteroid hit.
I don't know.
That pushed the Rocky Mountains one way and the Appalachians the other way.
I think it's just it's so far from the ocean that they don't have anything to moderate the weather. And
Possibly.
So that makes everything else extreme too.
Anyway.
The first thing you'll see in YouTube is just leave them in the ground. You'll usually get this from people who live in like California or like South Carolina.
Who spray incessantly.
Also, it doesn't freeze there. Like it freezes, but not like it freezes here. If I left my carrots in the ground past like Halloween,
even
I would never be getting those carrots out.
No, even now, we walked out in the garden today, and the carrots, I would say,
need to come out.
They need to come out. You can see their leaves are drooping.
They're gonna get eaten by worms and weird root knot nematodes, and all sorts of weird stuff is gonna get them if you leave them in the dirt. Also, you can't leave them in the dirt all winter if your dirt freezes. Hello. But everyone's like, just put some straw over them. Are you kidding me?
Straw has the worst. We have potato beetles because we put straw in our garden.
Yeah. It's bad.
Feel it out. If your nose tells you, if your brain or your whatever tells you, those carrots probably need to come out. Rip those carrots out.
You know, I struggled with that our first few years of gardening.
We both
because you're trying to make a garden that looks really pretty.
And then you're listening to, like reading all this advice online.
People who don't garden for food, they garden for content.
Yes.
And so their garden always looks really pretty, but by the time that cabbage looks really nice, you should have already had it in your kitchen for a week, because if you leave it out even a day longer, it is full of caterpillars or something else weird. So let's say you live somewhere where it actually freezes like a lot in the ground. You're not leaving it in the ground. That was option 1. Option 2, which a lot of people will tell you, this only works in certain climates. It does not work where we live. Snap off the greens and layer it in bins with damp shavings or sand or dirt or peat moss. You'll see all sorts of variations on this. Yeah. We've tried this 2 years in a row.
Doesn't work.
Not if you live anywhere humid. They just rot.
We have an average of 80% humidity year round.
Because we live by the ocean.
Yeah.
But if you live in the prairies or somewhere where it's very low humidity, somewhere where they sell humidifiers at Canadian Tire, then maybe that'll work for you.
Yeah.
It does not work for us. Option 3, in humid climates with a hard freeze, we can them.
Yeah.
We pickle them. We freeze them.
Well, what we've learned this year, which is really important, is the fermentation.
Lactofermenting instead of using vinegar. Yeah.
Immediately, you can feel the benefits.
Yeah, it's good for you.
It is good for you, and really, lactofermentation starts with salt.
It's just salt
that's
and
really
water.
the whole thing.
Salt and murky water.
You have to keep things extremely clean, obviously, like any canning process. And we are lactofermenting everything this year.
Yeah.
It's been a huge hit.
Beans, cucumbers, carrots. Our beets kind of flopped, but I would have done beets.
Yeah, we can't grow beets here. It's really
and then of
weird.
course we'll do sauerkraut, which is basically a different kind of lactofermenting. And once you've caught that right bug, and you've got a good batch that works really well in that 1 5-gallon bucket,
Yep.
you just transfer a little bit of that brine to your next bucket, and then you don't catch any weird mold. You just catch the good stuff.
Yeah, and this
it's
is
just like sourdough.
But this is a good time to point out that this works here in our
And
climate.
it might
not work
places.
in other climates.
Can we take a quick break?
Yes.
So, from now until August 29th, Thrive Life Freeze-Dried Food has their back-to-school sale on. It's up to 50% off retail, plus if you use our link, which is in our Friends and Affiliates page, you get another 15% off, only if it's your first order. The really good deal on this one is the instant milk. It's so much better than regular powdered milk, and it's 50% off. They also have some cool stuff like applesauce, blackberries, strawberries, shrimp, instant brown rice, the butternut squash, cranberries, cheddar cheese, the mashed potatoes, and those big can organizer systems where the cans roll up to you. Those are epic.
Jeez, I can't even imagine the multi-generational thing.
But if you look at this, a lot of these things are going out of stock. Like the beef's out of stock.
Oh,
the
yeah.
yogurt's out of stock.
Yeah.
So if you want to get in on it, it says it goes until Monday, August 29th. So you got 2 days left. But a lot of the stuff is already going out of stock. So use the code on our Friends and Affiliates page. So that's offgridprepfamily.com. Go to the Friends tab. Click on that, 15% off plus the 50 that's on that site. That's a really good way to stock up.
Mm-hmm.
Back to school sale. It's a little hard to find. Just click on the back to school sale.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Carrots? Oh, lactofermenting.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to lactoferment now, and it saves on the gross industrial acetic acid vinegar stuff, and it's cheap and it's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll tell you our whole process.
Yeah.
So we lacto-fermented, which is 2.5. What's the ratio of salt?
Okay. So for every gallon of water or volume, of volume, you need a half a cup of salt, and it has to be like just salt, like pickling salt, or we use kosher salt, not like table salt with like antique taking and stuff in it. That doesn't work.
No.
So for a 5-gallon pail, I just put 2.5 cups of salt in the bottom. I add about halfway with Berkey water, and then I just start filling it up with whatever. For the cucumbers, I cut off the blossom end.
Whatever being the vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify.
we just pickle shoes.
We just throw beef in there.
Just
shoes.
Vegetables. And if I don't quite have enough to fill a 5-gallon pail, I'll mix the vegetables. Like we did beans and cucumbers together. It was totally fine.
Yep.
And then I put dill, garlic if I have it, whatever you want to like kind of flavor it. Then I put a bunch of grape leaves on top. This keeps your pickles crunchy, crispy. If you don't have grape leaves, you could use oak leaves.
Yep.
I just have a lot of grape leaves, so that's what I use.
A quick side note to grape leaves and growing grapes. We have essentially 3 little mini vineyards. One is the vines growing around our house, which they get a lot of water. Just dropping off of the roof
and stuff, yeah.
And we planted beans around them, so they get a lot of water. The second vineyard is at the cottage, where this is our oldest vines.
Yeah, I think they're 4 or 5 years old now.
Yeah, and they get more attention. And the third vineyard is our largest vineyard, which gets 0 attention.
We haven't even trellised them yet.
We weed the rows. No, it's their 3rd year, and we haven't trellised them. I feel so bad, but we've been busy,
Yes, so that's
the vines can...
They can wait till
They
next
can
year.
wait. However, the ratio of grapes to leaves is highest in the most neglected vineyard.
Yeah, it's like one of those random tomato plants that springs up in your garden.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like so prolific.
It's ridiculous. And the leaves don't even look healthy.
By the way, if you have grapes right now, what we do to save the grapes from bugs and birds and squirrels, we put them in paper bags and staple the tops.
We do.
And so you just get like a pack of 1,000 or 2,000 or however many thousand you need.
Grapes don't need direct sunlight, and I've been checking on them.
We've netted, we've done all the bird things. It's never worked for us.
No, because the birds get it, the raccoons get them.
Yeah. the second they're almost ripe, all the animals take them.
They just swoop in.
So frustrating.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
And we've tried all the bird things, but there's so many like orchards and vineyards and things around us that the birds are super aggressive.
So we have a lot of grape leaves.
We have a lot of grape leaves, and so you put that on as sort of like a lid, and then on top of that, I put on like a dinner plate, and then on top of the dinner plate, I put some nice, clean, scrubbed rocks to weigh the dinner plate down. So this is so that everything, the cucumbers, the beans, the grape leaves, and the rocks are all under water.
Ooh, a classic dinner plate, like a Pilivit, or what are our dinner plate? It's Bed Bath & Beyond.
But like a standard
actually
bone china
is the same size
as a 5-gallon pail.
As a 5-gallon pail from Home Depot.
Yeah.
Or your local hardware, Lowe's or whatever.
Because
Kent.
they're white.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean the people aren't white. We're talking about the pails.
Well, the people are white too.
Damn, dude.
I don't see color. Anyway,
the dinner plate happens to exactly match
So find something in your kitchen that exactly matches whatever container.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And then you sink it down with some rocks or a brick or something until everything is below the water level. Top it up with more Berkey water if you need to. Put the lid on loose because it's going to bubble water. It's going to bubble air out, right?
Semi-loose. Like you want to make sure it's
you
firmly
don't want
in place.
In there, but it can't be tight.
Yeah.
And then we check it every few days, depending on the heat. It might take a week. It might take 2. And you just keep tasting them. And when they're like not salty, but like a little tangy.
You have to check. Okay, so we learned this the hard way.
Yeah.
You have to check them like every 3 days. It happens fast.
Yeah.
In our case,
it was really way too hot.
It was way too hot. But honestly, in retrospect, cucumber season is hot.
Yeah.
So when you're fermenting cucumbers,
you're always going to have this problem.
Yeah, but this is just what we learned with lactofermenting. So in our climate, in Atlantic Canada, it's very humid, very hot in the summer, but the summer ends fast. But we had this little window. At one point, we had 4 or 5-gallon pails of cucumbers. Full, like mostly full. We had a glut of cucumbers. We had to throw 2 pails, 2 5-gallon pails to the chickens.
Because the cucumbers had an extra day or 2 that they shouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
And they became completely hollow.
They didn't rot.
No, they just hollowed out.
Now, the weird part is you start this process simply with cucumbers, salt, and water. So initially, it's very salty. And then it does something else.
And then the cucumbers get like sour, like a pickle.
Sour, but then...
Not like a vinegary pickle, but like that's tangy, like a yogurt.
Yeah, it's fermented. It's definitely not like acetic acid industrial. Anyway.
It's like the ones that are on the bar.
Yeah.
Like a nice...
However, if you go even a day or 2 too much, that's TOO, too much.
A day or 2 too?
Yeah. They get salty again. That weirded me out.
It's super weird. And
so that's how you know.
I missed it,
But where did the salt come from, Nick? Where did the salt come from?
Nobody's seen that movie.
It's Envy with Jack Black. I'm not a huge Jack Black fan.
But he's not very Jack Black in that
movie. He is very not Jack Black in that movie. Anyways.
That's our lactose.
So that's our thing. It's salty, and then it's not salty.
When they're ready.
Yes.
This is just what we did.
Yep.
I'm not telling you this is safe.
No.
Don't take my advice, but this is what I did.
Feel it out.
Yeah. We put them in 1-liter jars because we have a big family, so we try to can everything in 1-liter jars.
And then we were extra cautious, so we put a little bit of vinegar in them.
Just a little. And then Berkey water.
Yep.
A little extra dill. And then we steam can them for 15 minutes.
Yeah, and steam canning, we've done a lot of canning, and you can just tell when it doesn't feel right. Steam canning felt right. They got bubbly.
Yeah.
It didn't take a lot of water. It didn't do that.
They didn't get mushy.
That weird siphoning
thing.
The
siphoning thing.
Oh, nothing worse than when you're canning jam, and then you pull the lid off happily, and then it's just like red liquid everywhere. You're like,
oh, gross.
What just happened to my water?
All that water is in your jam. Anyways, That's what we did.
Thanks, ball canning, for being a bunch of idiots.
Well, I think they're really sure that we're all just trying to constantly poison ourselves. And they don't want to be sued.
Do you think if you were selling cans, you'd, like, be interested in how people use your product?
Anyways, lactofermenting.
Yeah, I'm really
and
impressed. I'm very impressed.
So that was most of our Saturday, was all the cheese making.
That's what we did all day.
And the lactofermenting.
3:30 in the afternoon. We started at 8 a.m.
Yeah, and at 3:30.
And it was 3:30 we were like, hey, we've been canning all day.
Mm-hmm. And we try not to can in the summer because it's free for us when we can in the winter.
Yeah.
Because the wood stove's going anyways.
Mm-hmm.
We really try not to can, but the one thing that you really do have to can in the summer is pickles, because they're not going to wait.
No, they don't wait.
Would you like to tell me about the chicken in the pool? Can we wrap up?
Did we open with that? We did, right?
Yeah.
So...
The other night...
No, you lead, because you were the one who woke up with the chicken in the pool. No, it was pre... Start before the chicken in the pool. It's a great story.
Before the chicken in the pool.
The chicken was getting attacked.
Oh, well, yeah, okay.
But, like, by something huge.
By something big. And
so we
live on an island.
We live on an island, but
there
more
are
importantly...
no large predators.
No.
Beyond, like...
There are wolves.
There's a panther.
There's a panther.
In the ravine.
I'm pretty
it's not like we have
sure...
bears.
I'm pretty sure there's an actual dragon.
I'm pretty sure
that lives in the trees in the valley behind us.
Because... Yeah.
No, we don't need to go into that.
But... It was like 2 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Super black. No moon.
So we have this crunchy gravel that we bought this year.
And it's all around the house and it's in the courtyard.
If you step on it,
it makes a very distinct sound.
Like wake you up in the middle of the night sound.
And so it's hot, and so we're sleeping with just like the patio door in our bedroom, just the screen, right? Mm-hmm. Because we live in the middle of nowhere. Who's gonna lock their doors?
We're surrounded by trees. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
And in the middle of the night, and it's pitch black outside, and I hear this like crunch, 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 and then I hear the chicken going, blah, 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 like
when chickens are freaking out,
And our chickens are locked up, but there's this one really ornery chicken who never goes in, and so
there's always one
swim chicken.
Yeah, there's always one really ornery hen.
Well, she's the one, and she paid for it.
Yeah.
And it was so loud, and I couldn't see anything. And of course, I was not prepared. I did not have my headlamp. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know where my phone was. Mm-hmm. You know, you've got a newborn baby in the bed, and you're just like not on top of things. And so by the time you flicked on the courtyard lights and everything, there was nothing to see.
Nothing. It was gone.
And so
I was out there
from that door. I went out from the bedroom door. We wandered around. It was a pretty night.
Yeah.
Looked at the stars. There was nothing to see. And so you go back into through the kitchen, I go back into the bedroom, and you flick off the courtyard lights.
Yeah, we attempt to go back to bed.
The second that those lights are off, all that's between me and the courtyard is this flimsy patio door, and I can hear this huge sploosh, 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 like a bear's trying to come out of the pool or something.
Honey, there's a monster in the pool! Something in the pool!
It's big! And I couldn't see anything. And I was completely powerless.
And I'm halfway through the house.
And so he has to... It's a big house. And so he has to run like a long way.
Yeah.
To turn the courtyard lights back on. And so he finally gets them on. And we go back outside. And it's then, again...
Now, with the exuberance of the story, I want to paint the picture appropriately. We're running. And there's noise. And everything's happening. And then suddenly, it's silent.
Yeah. Which is so creepy.
We walk outside.
Crickets,
nothing.
No cicadas.
We walk outside. And there's this chicken.
Just floating.
She's not doing anything.
Not dead.
She's not dead. She's very much alive. She's floating like a duck.
And underneath her, you can see her legs, like, just rapidly
Not so much rapidly, just like... She's trying, but she knows she can't get anywhere. So...
we grabbed the big salmon net.
So the difference between a chicken and a duck, of course, there are many differences.
They don't have webbed feet.
But the
also, chickens don't have penises.
Oh, right. Well, that's a different podcast.
Feet, but that's a different episode.
But wow, this chicken was like a quadriplegic.
Yeah. It was
in the
completely
water.
useless in the water.
She was surprisingly calm because she had the
Wherewithal to
wherewithal.
She came in the middle of the night. First of all, usually when hens are asleep, you could just pick them off. It's amazing that she woke up.
It was
when
amazing.
Whatever was attacking her.
Yeah.
Attacked
So
her.
first of all, she came to our bedroom, and this
She
is
came to our
there
bedroom
are
door.
hundreds and hundreds of feet, not meters, feet between our house or our bedroom, I should say, and the chicken coop.
Never over.
No,
right?
you can't hear them.
We don't let chickens in the courtyard with
No.
the pool with the kids. Like
We've
that's disgusting.
gone to great lengths to prevent that.
But she knew where to come find us.
She knew where to come find us, and that's where
And
the initial attack happened.
whatever
Yeah.
chased her there.
And then she was smart enough to know that whatever was chasing her wouldn't follow her into the pool.
And so she just like hung
And just
out in the pool.
the comedy of her
I'm so happy for her.
calmly floating aimlessly
Yeah,
in
she's
that
just like,
pool.
"La-di-da."
Somebody will pay this bill.
Yeah, but
somebody's
then,
gonna do this.
You know how creepy the woods are at night, especially when you know
yeah.
that something big is in them.
Yeah.
So then you have to scoop this chicken out with the big salmon.
Yeah, and then we gotta
catching
put the
net.
chicken back in the barn because this is the one hen who has been out for weeks.
And so we finally got her.
So we finally got her.
And
So
we
then we
threw her
got
in the
the
chicken
we put the
coop.
headlamp on, and then of course with the headlamp comes the big bugs that attack the headlamp.
Also, it's worse because you can only see one area really, really well, and so you're like, whatever is in the woods could be like reaching out at me at any moment.
You never know. And we've really had a lot of success with using the major moms, like the bug killer.
When you're the only light for miles.
Oh, everything
you.
pecked your head, and it's not birds. It's disgusting. So yeah, we got the chicken in.
The pool, and
just
now
the way she was floating in there.
Our pool is having a bit of a chlorine shock weekend.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
It is really gross.
I don't want to drain our pool. It's almost September, but
it's almost the end of
we're
pool
not
season.
in it for at least a couple more days. It needs to recover.
But that was hilarious. It was a lot of fun.
And now I want to know what was after that chicken. That's all I got for you today.
Chicken in the pool.
Carrots, chickens, and cucumbers.
Lactofermenting, more specifically.
Yeah.
Really impressed with that process.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's really great. The taste is amazing.
And if you had an enormous amount of fridge space, like you don't live off grid, you can at that point put them just in your fridge instead of like steam canning them or pressure canning them. We've got a bunch of lacto-fermented beans in our bar fridge right now, but I'll probably just can them eventually.
Yeah.
Happy Saturday, people.
Yeah. Have a great night. We had a really heavy night last night with
I had a little audio trouble. I hope it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, we were really steamed up about a very important issue, but
tonight's not.
Tonight,
so
all is well. Yeah, was the chicken in the pool before that? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a precursor.
Okay, go get your free downloads. Share this episode with a friend if you can. We really appreciate it. And have a great Sunday.
Yeah.
Bye.